Watch this video before you waste money on buying a new system. We have a 4790K GTX 970. This system is 6 years old and it's still doing good in 2020. But how much performance leap will say something like a 5900X or even a 5950X deliver? 16 cores or 12 cores against 4. So I've got lots of browsers open, DaVinci Resolve, Fireworks, Dreamweaver. I've got YouTube running on this third monitor, 2 HD monitors and a 1440p curved from Dell. All running off a GTX 970, which is 13%, just 13% utilized. So unless you're doing gaming, even a GTX 970 works. No, it's running YouTube. Got loads of tabs open. Whereas the processor, it's about 25% under load. And I'm not, yeah, let's render this. CPU load will jump. But that doesn't mean the system will stop working. You can still watch YouTube, still browse, all whilst it's rendering a video. So even though the CPU is throttled to 100%, because it's got 32 gig RAM, it's not even using all the RAM. It's 24 and the GPU jumped to 30%, not going over 30%. And look what it's running. So how much performance jump can I expect from something like a 5900X with the RTX 3080? Yeah. How much is the 5900X? Processors, desktop, Ryzen. There you go, 5950X. And look, it's rendering in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm still even playing a YouTube video there. It's taking maybe a slight delay when you increase the size of the window. What about Task Manager? Where's that gone? Task Manager, what's it? It's not 100%? Yeah, it's still 100%. So, yes, I think a 5950X will make this system run, well, it'll render a lot faster, but I don't think it's going to make much difference to everyday use of a Windows system against a 4790K 6-year-old system, because 4 cores, 8 threads is still good in 2020. Obviously the extra cores will boost the rendering of this, so this will be done in super quick time, but the system itself has not slowed down at all. I can continue to use it while it's, if I could run Cinebench, and the system would still continue. Let's see what the temps are like. 43 degrees, well, it should be higher than that. Probably a delay. Huh? Running cool. What about the GPU? 48 degrees. Everything's running cool. So I will do Cinebench or 20. Look, it's rendering this video. It's only 50% complete. I'm gonna run Cinebench full, and I'm still playing the YouTube video. And while it's running that, I will see if I can continue browsing. So what the point I'm illustrating is, if you've got a good system already, you're not going to see that much difference in performance than getting a brand new system, even on a 5950X, other than for tasks such as rendering. But everyday use, it's not going to make much difference. Now look, I'm rendering that, I'm running Cinebench or 20, all processor hungry. Look, it's off. Started. Obviously GPUs, well, it's still running pretty cool. 47. CPU will be 100%. Temperatures, I don't think they're accurate. It'll be more than 40 degree. 61 degrees, yeah, that's more like it. So the temperature's increased to 61 degrees, which is pretty cool compared to modern PCs. The Cinebench is running slowly. It's going to get obviously a rubbish score, but if you look, the video is playing fine, no stuttering, and the rendering is still continuing, and we're going to get a rubbish CPU score. But let's see if I can still browse the internet. Yeah, look, all the tabs are working fine. If I Oculus there, let's see if I can go to open a new tab and start, say, see how long a page takes to load, a new page. Yeah, it is a bit slow loading, but look what it's got running. Cinebench running, but look, it's done it. I'm onto the site. Yeah. Gaming, and look, and this tab will be running slow because, yeah, let's run it off this. Cause I've got two instances of Firefox. One's got about at least 20 tabs, maybe 30, more than 30, 40 tabs, whilst this instance has got just 3 tabs. So let's see if that makes any difference. Opening another, look, let's see what the Black Friday deals are. Gaming system. Yeah, it's quite responsive. I'm noticing only a slight lag in browsing. But look what I've got running. Rendering that Cinebench R20 in the background. Yeah, there is a slight lag, especially shifting. I'm finding it difficult to move to Cinebench R20. If I go to back to the browser, it straight away. What, the big one? Yeah, I can navigate. Page is quite fine. Oh. So the point is, be careful spending a lot of money on over specking to a new system, because your existing system might just need extra RAM. Like this system's got 32 gig RAM from the beginning 6 years ago, and RAM makes a significant difference. You know, a lot of new systems are being sold with 16 gig RAM. I think you're better off getting 32 gig RAM as a minimum. That's what I would suggest. 32 gig RAM as a minimum, which is what I've got here, and this was 6 years ago. Yeah, I get more cores. Yeah, but if you already got a good system that's working fine, and unless you want to do rendering, it's just completed, then there's not much point wasting money unless you need the processing power. This is why I've had this system for 6 years and not upgraded until now, considering going to a 5950X. But looking at the way this system performs, how much more snappy will a 5950X be in like everyday use? Yes, it will be able to do the benchmarks faster and be able to render videos faster, yes, but in usual use, you know, browsing, watching YouTube, I don't think it's going to make any difference. Don't think it's going to make any difference. So, you know, there's no slowdown. And the CPU, what's the CPU? 100% utilized, because the Cinebench is still running. It's going to get a rubbish score, obviously, because, you know, even though this is just finished, it'll speed up a little bit now. So there you go. 4790K, still good in 2020, and just something to consider if you're thinking of upgrading. have you got an application that will make use of the cores? You know, what are you going to use it for? Are you going to use it for the best newest games, therefore you need a good graphics card mainly rather than a CPU? You know, something like a 3300X will be okay for gaming. Or do you do a lot of video work, rendering, or any other CPU intensive work? You know, what percentage of the time is it like you render one video every 3 days, every other day? Then is it worth spending £2,000 to £3,000 on a top end system? Well, 5950X with RTX 3080, that'd be about £3,000. So just something to ponder. You need to look at, evaluate how you use your PC. If it's just having lots of browser tabs, you know, and something like as old as a 790K from 6 years old with the GTX 970 is still good in 2020. You know, this is real example. 3 monitors plugged in, 1440p, full HD, and the GPU's on here, you know, oscillating between 20 and 30%. Now the benchmark's finished, the CPU's dropped to 30%, 20 to 30% utilization, because there's nothing processing. Yeah, there's going to be a rubbish Cinebench score, 748 points. I'm not surprised with that, given that I've got so many tabs open, so many other tasks running. I had that rendering. So you know, that in actual fact it'll be about 2,000 for the 4790K if I was doing nothing after a clean boot. So before you spend money, think, what am I going to do with a new PC? Are you just going to watch YouTube? Yeah. So what you need to do before you fork out a lot of money for a new PC is think what you're going to do with the system, or whether it's worth just say upgrading the memory on your existing system. Now I would go with 32 gig RAM as default now. In fact, I've been using 32 gig RAM for over 6 years on this system. But if all you're going to do is watch YouTube and do some word processing, Excel spreadsheets, and have lots of browsers open, then you don't need a 5900X, even a 5800X. Something like a 5600X or 3600X even will do. And if you've got a 3600X system, that is still good for many years. And even if you do gaming coupled with say an RTX 2080, 2070, 2060, that's still absolutely fine for all of the games out there. You don't need to waste thousands of pounds anytime soon getting a new system. So I've got 6-year-old system, 4-core, 8-thread, and it does everything. Saying that, I'm going to get a 5950X because look, 6 years, I think I've got my money's worth out of this system. But it just illustrates, if I had something like say a 3600X, 32 gig RAM and a 2070 Super, would I be thinking of upgrading that system? No, it'd be just wasting money, because there would be very little difference. I'd be wasting £2,500–3,000 on a 5900X or 5950X, and it wouldn't give me any much difference use wise. Everything would run fine, as this system runs fine even when under massive load, rendering and Cinebench, and I could continue using the browsers and continue watching YouTube at the same time. So there is no reason to rush out and waste money. Just look at maybe the speed of your SSDs. That would be a good upgrade. And if you only got 16 gig RAM, upgrade to 32 gig RAM. That would be a boost. I don't think you need to do anything else. if you got something like a 3600X. Anyway, that's my point of view on people not to rush out and waste money on a new system, because you don't need to, unless you have applications that are going to use the cores